excited to have you. It's nearly the end of Wednesday, so we definitely deserve a pint or two. It's been a long week.
Already, yeah, right.
Perfect. So if we let's start off by doing some quick introductions. So I'm Paris. I'm a lead customer success manager here at Xelix, and I'm really excited to be chatting to Dave Hodsdon today. So Dave, over to you to a quick intro.
Thanks very much, Paris. And what a great setting for us to have a chat, right? I love the APMs. It's a wonderful pub. My name's Dave Hodsdon. I look after a shared service centre for Liberty Shared Services, which is part of the Liberty Global group of companies. Liberty Global are a traditional telco investment company, now specialising in both telco and renewable energy and some other associated services. So you might kind of recognise some of the brands we have in the group. Virgin Media are two, for those of you in the UK, and that's Virgin Media Ireland in Ireland. We've got Sunrise in Switzerland. We've got Telenet in Belgium, VodafoneZiggo in the Netherlands, and the lists go on. So I've been in shared services now for about a decade, 10 years. Originally kind of came in as a lawyer, believe it or not, and then worked my way into finance. And look, I'm really excited to, I guess, extol the benefits of, modern, future-ready shared service centres. Spend an awful lot of my time now thinking about how we can pair technology with common business problems that are experienced by our customers to provide really innovative and future-ready solutions.
Gosh, yeah. I never knew that. I didn't know you joined as a lawyer. There you go.
More time in the pub, Paris.
Great. And as we are in a pub, would love to hear, your favourite pub or pub experience.
Look, I've got many, none of which I'm going to share with you right now. My favourite part, I keep coming back to it. So I was born and spent a lot of my childhood around the northeast, and so I became quite familiar with it. We used to go on family holidays a lot to Northumberland, up to kind of Sea Houses, Bamborough, Alnwick, that sort of area. And there's a pub there at the end of a walk on Beadnell Beach, which is the Ship Inn. And I have to admit, nearly 40 years later, I can keep coming back to the same pub every year, every 18 months. And, it reminds me of growing up. It reminds me of holiday. It's a great place just to relax and let the worries of the world just, slip by and just look out on the beach with a great pint. So,
God, it sounds very idyllic. A pub on the beach is the ideal kind of pub.
I had you at the pub on the beach, right?
Yeah. So. Okay, great. So moving on to our pub quiz section, it would be great, Dave, if you could tell us from 1 to 10 how important the role of technology in AP transformation is.
1 to 10, it's got to be a 10. I'd give it more if the scale were higher. There is genuinely nothing that is more important, I think, in our industry at the moment than focusing on digitization and transformation.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. And it's I worked with Liberty Global Shared Services right at the beginning of my time at Xelix, and ever since there's just been more and more customers who are chatting to us and about transformation and have got this huge focus on that digital AP transformation. And so on that note, we thought it'd be really interesting, as you are very knowledgeable in this area and you have now a lot of experience under your belt on this, if you would be able to share 3 things that you think all shared service centres should know ahead of starting their AP transformation journey.
Yeah, okay. I think the first thing and fundamentally important is understand the industry that you're in and what the future's likely to be for that industry. I think in my experience, a lot of companies that we work with are focused on the next 12 months. Often it is in budgetary cycles, unfortunately, and it can lead to relatively short-term decision making. Mm-hmm. So I'd really encourage you to look. We often talk about the 5 to 7. Looking out 5 to 7 years is far enough in the future that you can imagine things happening without the constraints of the next 12. Yeah. but it's close enough that it doesn't feel just ethereal and totally not connected to anything real or tangible. The world's changed a lot in the last 18 months. Everybody will be well aware.
Yeah.
And so really thinking about that next 5 to 7 is important. You know, what I see when I look out maybe 5 to 7 years ahead is an almost complete digitization of transactional finance. So P2P, you know, S2P actually, so I'd include the procurement activity in there as well. And I think it's our role as kind of custodians of transactional finance to help lead the way for the companies that we work with in terms of the types of solutions that they ought to be thinking about and investing in to ensure that long-term success. So I think that's first and foremost. I think the second thing is, you know, be realistic with yourself about where you are. You know, we work with a lot of different companies that are all at different stages of their digital journey. And you know, where you are is also, you know, where you are, the customers you serve, your location, your position in the world. So I was out a couple of weeks ago now in Latin America, working with a customer out there, and actually the way that they receive invoices is very different to the way that Western Europe, the customers that we serve in Western Europe receive invoices. So a lot of these things are coming in from very small kind of mom and pop firms. There's no sophisticated accounts receivable teams preparing invoices, so they can't really be consumed in some kind of XML or EDI format. They don't come in on email or PDF. A lot of them are handwritten. So, you know, be realistic about your starting position. And I think if you understand where you're starting and you understand where the world is going in the next 5 to 7, it makes that pretty straightforward for you to be able to plot a route to get there. I think that'll really help. And I think the third and final thing is, you know, the buy-in that you have across the organization to do your digital transformation is really important. Yeah, I was looking into a quote that I'm sure we've all heard, which is 70% of transformation projects fail as a result of poor engagement. And I really struggle, look at, you know, to any of your listeners, if anybody knows the source, the real genuine source of that information, I'd love to know it, because I've got about 300 different leads through looking on various search platforms. So I guess it's just one of those things that's just eponymous with kind of transformation journeys. But I think it is true in that, you know, think about who is funding the transformation and what do they need to know. Often in transactional finance, this kind of source to pay, that's the CFO. So make sure the CFO is properly bought into the level of change, you know, where you are, where you're heading, why you're heading there, and what it will take to get there. Make sure that you've got the right and committed team of people. We use a transformation team that sits adjacent to the operation so that they're, you know, separate and removed enough to be independent, but they're close enough in terms of proximity to understand the real world challenges of transactional finance. Bring in your subject experts, and then, you know, last and certainly not least, focus on the individuals that will be both impacted by the change and also, you know, the most key to its success. You know, the people who are performing the process today will have the best knowledge on how things are performed and why they're done a particular way, and so we'll be able to help you with how to change that. Be my advice.
Okay, so consider the future, or consider the future of your industry, I guess. Be realistic and get buy-in from all levels.
Absolutely.
So great advice. And I'm sure we'll have lots of questions of other people who are kind of attempting the beginning of their journey. Okay, so moving on to the pub quiz. So Dave, I'm going to share my screen and I'm going to show you 2 memes.
All right.
And we want to know your AP caption of which one of these you want to choose, and give us a caption.
I mean, the one on the left has got to be something to do with PO compliance. There is no way that dog is not frowning at the fact that I've told you X many times how to process a purchase order, and yet still the invoice comes in before the purchase order is raised, you know, and he's looking again,
painful.
You know, again. I think the raccoon on the other side, I think it's a raccoon. Is it a raccoon?
Yeah, I think so.
I think so.
We'll go with that.
small mammal, right? Looks like it's just come out of the bin. But I mean, look, perhaps he's rejoicing in the fact that digital transformation for the finance back office is here.
Yeah, I think that's very good. I think that's very, very appropriate as well. Great. Well, thank you so much, Dave. And just before we end, we always ask, how was your AP experience today?
It's wonderful. Look, I'm looking forward to coming back and having a real pint in the Xelix.
Us too, us too. Bro, well, thank you so much for joining me today and sharing your insights. It's been really, really insightful, and we've really enjoyed chatting.
Thanks,
Thanks,
Paris.
Dave.
Really good too.
Thank
Take care.
you.
Bye.
Bye.